Is this thing on?
All right, let's get this show on the road. Okay.
The episode of longer?
I was
Oh
going to
my
shake the
gosh.
Altoid tin.
That's what this is about. You want to contribute, you freaking nerd. All right, here we go.
All right, let's go. Let's go. The Coffee and Carving Show, episode 46. And let's start this out by eating on camera.
Yeah. How about that? People hated that. I got two comments in the emails because I not mute the camera, mute the microphone when I was eating.
People still hated it. People caught it because it's very rude. I'm told, hey, what are you drinking?
Today I'm drinking an espresso, little latte with my wife made it for me right before we got on. So coffee.
Listen to me. I'm back on the morning super duper espresso train.
You too?
Oh, I'm drinking the whole 6-cup thing again. I love it so much.
Isn't it good?
I had to stop for my gut's sake, but now I'm back and I'm loving it. But I'm drinking, ask me what kind of coffee I'm drinking today. Freshly ground.
I didn't even ask. Hey, Doug, what coffee are you drinking today?
I'm drinking freshly ground. I don't have a clue because my wife takes it out of the bag and she pours it in glass containers and I have no idea.
Oh, to make it look cutesy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what kind. So, sorry. But anyway, before we get going, our coffee heroes this week are Jerome, Edmund, Gene, and Jeff's. I don't know if it's Jeff Sim or Jeff Sim or it's just his email. He didn't give his name, so
I see.
We're going to call him Jeff Sim. Jeff Sim. So thanks, Jerome, Edmund, Gene, and Jeff Sim.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it indeed. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
So, now he's coughing and slurping. Now he slurps his coffee instead of chews his food.
Yep. That was Doug. This is Doug. Well, they know that now because this is our first ever episode only on YouTube.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. The world is just in an uproar, but...
What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah. What do? You can't keep everyone happy. Tell me, Doge, what the heck, man? What have you been up to lately?
Do you remember 2 weeks ago when I said I was very ill?
Right.
Round 2, baby. Coming in hot this weekend. I have no idea why, how, or what, but the same thing has plagued me all weekend, and I was out. I was down and out. In fact, at work, we've closed the building because over 50% of the staff have the dreaded virus that won't be named. So,
well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it was a bummer, but even in the midst of it, I did squeak out a very simple video for the YouTube folk.
Yeah,
and that was one that I talked to you a while ago about. I'm going, this is too simple.
Yeah,
I started out with these little Halloween blockheads.
I was watching this morning,
and I thought this is so easy. So I thought, well, maybe I'll make some decorative pumpkins. And then I got dropping them on the ground, like I did in the video.
Did you?
These little decorative pumpkins, which are cute enough on their own. I added some little paraphernalia to them, a little bit of wire, a little bit of happy straw. What do you call that? Raffia?
Happy straw is what I call it. Yeah.
I have no idea. I said to my wife, "Hey, what's that fake straw stuff you always have?" And she says, "Raffia." The word is raffia. So then with these varying heights, so okay, this is how it goes. So I made like 9 of these to start with, and they're all squares based upon ones that we had in our Halloween decorating I made 10 years ago, but these were painted and they weren't carved. So after making these pumpkins at varying heights, I said, well, what's against the law to keep these square but make these in various heights? Like so.
I like those,
and I kind of like that too. So then, being as the video is such a simpleton thing, I thought I'd throw in a couple more ideas. So then I went and made a big square pumpkin.
Oh, cool!
Same
that's
idea.
my favorite. I love that. I'd put that in my house.
It's fun. It's so simple, but it's cute. It's
my wife would buy that at an art show. Yeah.
There you go. That's okay. We'll talk about this later because that's what I said in the video. I said, this is so easy, but that would sell all day long at a craft show,
at a craft fair,
gift market, whatever you want to call it.
I've rehearsed that for the entire morning because I knew we were going to talk, and I watched your YouTube video, and I said, I'm going to say my wife would put that. Did it come off? Did it come off authentically? So my wife would put that in a.
That wasn't genuine at all. Then.
No, I've been rehearsing it every waking moment of today in my head over and over again.
So then after all that, I thought it's still a lame old video. So then I whipped up this little candy corn, just a little triangle piece.
I like that too.
But it's all about the paint. That was my whole purpose.
Stop hitting the mic with it, though.
I know.
No, but somebody's got a headache now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said in the video when I hurt people's hearts, I said, crappy carvings come from crappy carvers, meaning you didn't take the time to do clean cuts. It's not about being a simple carving versus fancy carving.
Yeah.
It's about doing a clean job. So I said, this is a triangle. Whoop-de-doo. If I goobered 3 solid layers of paint on here and didn't make any effort to blend or just make it a wash, it would look like a triangle painted 3 colors. But this is kind of cute.
Yep. Yeah.
Mikey, I'm dying. I just muted. Okay. So anyway, that's it. So I got all these things. Man, you should see Sophie's going to have the Halloween shelf of a lifetime this year.
That's awesome.
So many. I don't want to carve another pumpkin at all this year. I'm done. Yeah. But then I did have some extra time. I made a little wood spirit fella here.
Oh, hey, that's a really nice one. Oh my gosh, that's an awesome wood spirit.
This is a small one. I kind of like it.
Oh man, that's another one I want. Can you send that to me, please? My address is.
Well, you know what? Oh, you forget? I'll tell you. It's 432. No. Anyway,
that's 1111111. Yeah.
So that was fun for
me. That's my new favorite wood spirit of yours. Honestly, one of my favorite wood spirits of all time.
It's small.
It's so good.
But I'm trying to figure out what to do with these. I have a bunch of tall, skinny pieces of bark, so I'm going to end up cutting them all in half. But that reminds me. Yeah, I did go off on a little tangent, which is not complete, and you'll be proud of me because I made an effort to always have a piece of bark on the go. And this is how I came up with this wood spirit and learning to walk away again. Remember last week I said I started and I couldn't stop it. And I said, just have it on the go and then try and walk away. And then come back for 20 minutes here and there, like making videos, got to upload for 20 minutes, go whittle away on a piece of bark and then come back. Don't waste time just scrolling Instagram or something in between. But anyway, I had another one, so it's not done. But you'll get a kick out of this one. Like I said, I had tall, skinny pieces of bark. So I was
Wait, what? What is that? Oh my gosh. I thought it was X-rated for a second.
No.
So well, because the focus, it didn't load. The page didn't load fully. That is awesome.
But it's so tall and skinny, right?
It's so cool.
It's kind of dumb.
No, it's cool. It's somehow very, very creepy and Halloween-y, even though I don't know that you meant it to be.
Well, I could have gone. I could have gone with. I was thinking the black crow in my head a little bit too.
Oh, me too. I thought about that.
But then I wanted the neck.
Yeah,
for the goose. So
right.
Anyway, that's about all I've been up to. Other than that, I've been binging ridiculous shows on Netflix while I laid in bed.
Yeah, recovering.
Miserable. So, yeah. What have you been up to?
Man, but you've been productive. That's great. Can I ask you, when you're doing that duck, are you using a reference photo or are you just trying to pull it from your memory of a duck?
I saw a picture painted once like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I don't really have a true reference for it other than I did look up a duck or goose beak.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't, it would have been a round head with a pointy, but
with a pointy little bird's beak.
Wouldn't have had those cheeks and the skinnier head. So that's why I looked it up. But it's fun. It's funny to me, and you probably have way more experience than I do. In the animal world, there isn't that many different kinds of eyes. Would you say, when you're making eyes? Let me grab. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this rabbit I made. So what I'm talking about is, this is my little hair, right? You see his eyes?
Move it toward the center a bit more. Can't see it. There you go.
You see how his eyes, so it's the predator versus prey eyes. So all the side eyes, you could probably cheat and make them all the same. So kind of the idea of the goose and the rabbit.
Yeah.
They're almost the same. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So the predator has those dog-facing front eyes like humans.
Right.
And all the prey always have the eyes on the side. So they're always kind of looking around.
Yep.
Because they're going to get eaten at any time.
Yep.
And I think that the eyes are kind of, well, I'm sure there's exceptions, but I just clued into that when I was doing that, going, rabbit and a goose have similar eyes.
Yeah.
Did I just go off on a tangent of no meaning?
No. Well, no, I mean, maybe the closest way I can relate to that is when I'm carving like animals or anything, like I just finished up carving. I'll tell you more about it in a second, but I did a bird and then I've done some, I don't know, I did a velociraptor, and that's not really understood if that's actually the way they look, the pictures we have. But then I did like, I don't know, a wolf probably not that long ago. And so there is sort of like a similar thing about it, like upper lid, eyeball, lower lid. There are different pitches on different animals, and there, of course, like different sizes. And there's some, like owls have a very round eye. So there's definitely differences. But I think what's surprising to me, and maybe this is what you're getting at, is if you can carve a human eye, it makes carving other eyes a lot easier, like surprisingly easy.
But I was meaning more like the side placement.
Oh, okay.
That eye. It's a horse would be the same too, probably, right?
Yeah. That predator prey thing I forget about sometimes, but you're right. That plays into it.
So basically, you take that nose line back, and the eyes are on the side, and they're all similar.
Huh.
Whereas you have have like a monkey eye.
Right. I've been told that I have a monkey, a couple of monkey eyes.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Or chimp.
Well, that's being generous. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a little side tangent, but
rude and generous and rude.
It was rude, but
I'm gonna see past it.
You know what else is rude?
Yeah.
My two friends were walking down the street trying to think of something to do. One friend turns to the other and says, let's go get a drink. There's this new place that does the best punch you'll ever have. So they make their way to the bar and walk straight up to the bartender. 2 glasses of your best punch, please, they ask. The bartender replies in a stern voice, if you want some punch, you're going to have to get in line like everybody else. The friends turn and look around, but there's no punch line.
Is there a cricket? Can I find the cricket noise?
There, that's rude.
Oh, there's no cricket. I'm going to look it up. Hold on, folks. Cricket. Oh, there's none. Okay. Chirp, 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 chirp. Okay, fine.
Oh, see, they loved it.
Yeah.
There's got to be a bigger laugh than that.
Well, I turned it down on purpose. That was horrible.
Oh, okay.
That's the worst joke I've ever heard.
Of course it is.
But I know a lot of people are going to appreciate it because
at least you understood it.
They're tasteless.
It was dumb enough that you understood it.
So. Yeah, no, I do wait. I do sort of like wait for jokes with punchlines that are somehow either shrouded in mystery and or are like somehow not Canadian or culturally relevant enough.
Or age appropriate.
Or are Canadian rather and age appropriate. Yeah, I'm waiting for those.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to, mister?
Well, just very similar things to what I normally do. Am I isolating? Is it only northern listeners now? They all tuned out, the southern ones. I am, because my accent is what I was trying to do.
You were told to bring them back, so carry on.
Okay, yeah, that's probably subconsciously why I'm doing it. It's because I do bad accents and I don't stop sometimes. But I was out in Bloomfield Township, which is like Ritzyville in Detroit area, and really pretty, like kind of more rural, and doing these black locust carvings that I think we talked about last week. And
stop there.
Yeah.
How many black locusts has this guy whacked off the tops?
3. Yeah.
Because I thought black locust. This is the same place,
right?
You're going around this guy's house.
Yeah.
All these locusts that he's cutting off.
Yeah.
So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, just long story short, there's 3 trees he chopped down. He wanted a Native American head, a mountain man head, and then an owl in one of them. And I had an idea for the owl. And so I put my hands up and I said, like this maybe? And he said, oh, longer, more. And it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, it's this like huge, maybe, I don't know, 6 times life size owl. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing is trying to finish these 3 carvings up. We did the faces, and what's, he's also a carver and a very good 2-dimensional artist. And so he has been, when I'm not there, he'll go and he'll sand on it, and and he's been working on the hair of the kind of mountain man guy, kind of trying to get the top part, the lines, and it's good because there's a little bit of a teaching, like a little lesson in there for him. And I'll go down and I'll go, this is what we're doing, and I'll make a video and post it. So I've been making videos about it. Yeah. What's that?
You like that?
What's that? Collaborating?
Going collaborating?
To be honest, I like working on stuff with people. Yeah, for sure. But there are downsides to it.
But you had this all planned out, so it's not like he didn't surprise you and said, I helped you out this weekend and I went ahead and did the hair.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Quick story. Back in my trim carpentry days, we used to, we'd walk into a house. I'd count how many doors there were, how many windows, whatever. We would pre-cut, like I'd just stand in the living room and pre-cut 42 casing sides for the doors. They're all the same height. The jambs, because we mortised the jambs with the rail arm saw, had a dado in the top, so they're all identical. So we pre-cut everything. And then we go around, put 4 casings per door set, and then all the frames together. And then when you got to the door, you'd nail the door together, shim it, level the door in place, put the door stop on, and then put the casing on. So the one fellow decided we did that. We started a house on a Friday afternoon, and over the weekend, the guy said he didn't say on Monday morning. He said, "Oh, I helped you guys out, and I nailed some casing on for you." So he went and he nailed casing on. He didn't leave the reveal that we always left the reveal, like a reveal is like an
1/8 inch. Yeah.
1/8 inch around the frame. He left no reveals, and he nailed them all on and stuff. And
even I know, I'm just a lowly homeowner, and I know to do the 1/8 inch reveal.
Well, anyway, he used. Well, we had room for it, only so now the casing was an 1/8 inch below the bottom of the frame. Anyway, long story short, we packed up and left and said, "Do your own trim."
No, you did not.
Did so.
Good job.
Yep. Another common one in that era was the painters. We said, do not touch that casing, because they're all cut 45s. Do not touch that until top miters are joined, done, sanded.
Right.
When we're out of there, do not, because what they would do is we'd have 45-degree cuts. We have casing laying all over the house, ready to be nailed onto the frames, and the painter would go, "Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get one more coat on this," and he'd slop his paint onto our miters. So then you go to join the dry paint stuck goobers. We had to plane off all the paint, but
and they probably liked that because they didn't have to cut in. They could do it while it was off.
Well,
the wall.
Eventually they would have to anyway, but yeah. It was just
Well, right, but it would save them one step of having
Yep.
to cut in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas they could have double painted it in the garage before we got there
Right.
as a length. But
Right.
anyway,
Right.
trimming.
That's what they should have done. Right.
Okay. Trim carpentry with Doug. Sorry, you were talking about what you were up to. So yes,
Yeah.
I watched all your videos.
Mm. Oh, the little tip videos.
Yep.
I tried to extract from it. Yeah.
The one today, though, I was left hanging, to be honest.
Which one?
The one that says I read after. I just clicked on it right away, and it said, "I'm doing this owl, and I'm going to bring you along with me." And then you went with your thing. Okay, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I did kind of set up for
But
I guess
but
you know what happened?
my bad. Then I read the title,
Yeah.
and then it
Right.
said you just talked about your tools.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I listened to it before I read the title. So
Right. Well, no, and what you're catching there too is like an allusion to the what am I trying to say? An alluding to the like middle part. There was going to be a middle part where I talk about like, okay, this is how far I've come, and the homeowner was going to film the middle part, but he never came out, and so I just and then when I get in the zone, it's hard for me when I'm carving to like get out of my little world. Like I'm just like, the beak is too small. The beak must be smaller, or like bigger.
I understand.
You know what I mean? So I just I get lost, and in this particular case, I was not in video mode. I was in carving mode. So,
well, that's the place you want to be.
Yeah,
if you're a woodcarver, to be honest.
Yeah. So
filming is hard, is nerve-wracking. It adds stress when you don't need it because, like you said, you want to play with that beak a little bit. Who wants to watch you? Honestly, if I was filming that goose, because I may actually film that goose again. I may redo it because
cool.
now I've learned some things and how I set it up next time. But the playing around and goofing around to get to that shape, that's not a video. That's me fooling around. That's why you always make fun of me for carving something 6 times before I film it for a tutorial because you need to know what you're doing. And I don't.
Oh no, I don't make fun of you. What I've said in the past, probably somebody is just watched a previous episode where I do make fun of you, but maybe I do in the show. But when I'm really when we've talked in person, I think that's very, very wise, and I think that's probably what makes you who you are. Is you're methodical and organized, and you do things in that way. So I personally admire that about you. It's probably the only thing that I like about you.
There you go. Good. We were getting a little soft there, so good.
Yeah.
Way to throw that in. But otherwise, what else have you been up to? Surely that's not it.
No. Well, no. And here's where we left off on the owl. Being that he's a 2D guy, he wants to paint the eyes. Well, in fact, he thought about me painting the eyes, and I said, you know what? You're a great artist. You should paint the eyes.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll do it. So I did that, but I did torch it. Certain parts of the surface. So you can see it next to my Dremel just to see how big this thing is.
Okay, now I get a better scale for the size of it. Yeah.
And that foot is obviously way too big, but the good news is it's hidden. You can't. Well, I'm on scaffolding, so when you're down low, no one knows the foot. You can just see the tip of a talon, maybe. So anyway, that's that, and that.
So he's gonna paint the eyes.
Yeah. So here he is. Here he is standing up on a bench next to the scaffolding, taking a picture of it. That's Magoo. It's funny. He has this artsy hat and these artsy glasses. So people, and they see him, working on it on the off hours. People come up to him and they go, "Wow, you did an amazing job on this owl."
Yep. Yeah.
So that's
so
funny.
is he Magoo? Is he Mr. Magoo or just Magoo?
Mr. Magoo? No, Magoo. But that's why he's.
I'm trying to think of who Magoo was. That the Jeffersons or something? Or
no, Magoo is a character. There was like Magoo Christmas, Magoo like different holidays, I think maybe or something. I don't know.
No.
But they did like little show. They did the show, like kids animation. Anyway, these are the finished. I
love those. I was shocked how big that head was when you put your hand up against it.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's a big head.
It's a 14-inch head, so from the top of the skull to the bottom of the chin, not including the hair and the beard. So it's pretty big. About a time and a half times life size. So it's really not that huge, but it's big. for me. And what made it really challenging was that it was black. Like I said, black locust. Come to find out, the hardest wood in North America. And I was negative. I was excited about it at the beginning, and I knew I'd resent it at the end, and I did resent it. But I will say something about it that I did appreciate was, you know how baseball players, they carry all those bats in their hands and they swing them just to get warmed up, so that when they get that one bat, it feels nice and light. That's how it felt. Like I've worked on other carvings. Of course, I'm doing this white oak thing, this chair. There he is. Yeah,
That's Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, and it's so much easier. Even the white oak now is like a breeze. It's like, wow, this is not white oak. It can't be. And then I realized, oh, I'm used to carving, this locust. So,
did you get any extra burr money on that?
Oh, burr money. Magoo is good. Magoo's been generous. Yeah, he usually pays me a little more than I ask because I think he knows that it's horrible. My joints. He's called me and been like, "Man, I've been working on this thing for just a little bit. I have never been so sore. I'm sore." And I'm like, "Tell me about it. I'm out there all day."
I say that, folks, because that wood is so hard that it's eating up his carbide steel burrs on his Dremel and what you call it? What do you call that thing? Die grinder.
Die grinder.
So 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's been a big project. So that's that. I've been over at his house a couple times this week, finishing up these faces. He wanted me to really detail them. So I went in with the Dremel, and I went in on this guy's face in particular and really finished him up.
Yeah.
And then I redid this guy's face because Magoo had sanded his face and didn't like that. So I went back and I made it more rough again. So that's kind of more, it looks a little bit rougher now. So he's got to get clear coat on it before it cracks anymore.
So what kind of clear coat are you going to put on that?
I told him that he should put like a spar urethane of some kind, like either an oil-based or a water-based spar urethane.
How about what about a Thompson's water seal instead of a varnish?
That would look cool, but it's not as long term. The spar does better, but who knows? That's just what I've heard. But here's what they look like wet. They get really dark, and so I'm excited about what they're gonna look like clear coated. So working on those a bit this week. I also started. Had I started on the video yet? I don't think I did. This past week, I started on making the faces of this giant chair that a friend.
We talked about it, but where we left off was that you were going to have to move the face.
Yep. Yeah, and we did. So let me just scroll through. All I have is a video. I don't have any pictures, but here's the chair as it exists right now. Let me see if I can turn it sideways. The reflection is not helpful, but you can see it's giant. And this has been. I can't take credit for this. This is most of the chair. Actually, all of the chair has been Dave, and I'm just gonna start working on setting the forms in. Like the face and the hair and the body. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's huge, and again, white oak. So it's definitely it's a big project. But
so he's leaving that lip on the inside to put a seat in it.
Yep. Yeah, he's gonna upholster. We're gonna use. Actually, hold on. We're gonna use.
I guess I don't have to tell the audience what Alec is doing because the audience is watching us now.
Leather.
Okay. Yep.
I love the smell of leather. Anyway,
that's nice veggie tan leather.
Yeah, full grain, nice thick leather. I'm gonna try and weave something for it, like maybe just go across some bars that we wrap around underneath.
Are you gonna leave it natural, or are you gonna stain it?
We'll probably we'll stain it because it's awful close to the color of the the color of the wood right now. So, also, I speaking of leather, I scored this bag at an art show. This guy, it's kind of cool and like rustic. He put some rocks, pebbles where the buttons go.
That's fun.
And it's all full grain. It's heavy because it's again it's like heavy leather. You know, he stitched it. And,
how much does that bag weigh?
just empty right now. It's probably
6 pounds.
Yeah. That's a good guess, actually. Yeah, it's a really good guess.
Leather's heavy.
Yeah,
but
so this chair. Speaking of heavy, this chair we've been just trying. He's been just trying to get it as light as possible because I mean it's thousands of pounds. In log form, and now it'll be, you know, hopefully we'll get it down to like a few 100 pounds, like maybe 300 or something. But
is it going to fit on a skid? Like, how is he going to move it around if he takes it to places? He's going to have to get on a skid with a little hand truck or something.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna probably try and sell it. I mean, he's more of the mind of like getting it into a museum, and that would be really cool. I guess maybe I'm too small-minded. I don't think people would ever. I don't know. I don't really think about that. So hopefully that'd be great. But we'll see about that.
Yep.
So nice, Gooseman. That was the appropriate transition.
There you go.
So yeah, man. Other than that, I've been making videos. I've edited some little clips together of my projects as of late. So check those out on the tube. Oh, I did a beginner YouTube video for the first time. Where's that thing?
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I tried, and I called you, and told you how hard it was to do, coming from somebody who's used to making just niche stuff, the same thing, realistic face, and it's a whole nother skill. It reinforces this thing I've been telling you all the time, which is you have such a unique skill to be able to turn a camera on and make something that looks awesome in less than an hour. Awesome. And, you know, I did like 40 minutes of just a really basic, just to try to teach the very basic tool, like cuts that you can do with just a straight chisel is all I used for this, almost like a knife carving project. You know, and it's not big or anything or complicated, but yeah, it's fine. It does the job. So you can check that out, you know?
Yep. No, that was fun. You didn't use a flat chisel. You sharpened a pry bar, didn't you, or something?
No, I used a flat. You're right. It's not a chisel. It's a skew. I'll grab it. It's actually it's a real carving tool I pulled off of my one of my favorites. It's just a skew.
Oh, I thought you sharpened a putty knife. That's what
I did for a different one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good then. Good.
Yeah. Moving on and up.
Well, that was
big boy tools now, man.
Yeah, that was a long video for you too. Hey, it was.
But I tell you what, it went by. I had more fun making that video than any of my challenge videos because it was a challenge. It was a real challenge, like much harder than the other challenge videos. I mean, I could just, even with a screwdriver or something, it was just like blah-dee-dee. I'm barely even thinking about it. Whereas with this, I was like, I was fully present.
Well, yeah. What was your issue? That to talk through it or just to?
Oh, everything.
You do that in the school. That's your instructional videos in the school. What's the difference?
Well, to make something, just thinking about it from a beginner's mind, you know, like the way I thought I was going into it was, you know what, I'm going to try and make something that's really easy for people to start out with on YouTube that isn't super complicated, that helps them to get the ideas for realistic faces, you know, and not actually doing the hardest part of it is, there's a little bit of holding back, but I think that made it more fun for me in a way of like just sort of a new challenge, you know, not giving everything, holding back a little bit, restraining, you know.
Well, let's be fair though. Our basic faces are not the same. You and me.
Well, I know. I wish mine were more like yours.
No, honestly. You don't. No, I'm saying.
No, I do.
I'm taking a knife. Like this is a basic face.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing a much more complex.
You couldn't see it. You couldn't see it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
If I see something in my screen, it should be there, right?
I don't know.
Sure. But anyway, all I'm saying is you have a much more because you're doing an actual face with all the cheek, you know, it's not apples to apples. My beginner faces is just 5 knife cuts. So you're doing a
See?
much more complex thing. So
Whatever you say.
anyway, something before we hit the mailbag, I was thinking in my head, and I talked about it in the video a little bit. Upset a couple people actually, and I don't really know why.
Really?
Yeah, and I do know why, because they don't feel good about their carving. But what I said in the video.
Oh, this is juicy.
So
I love YouTube guys.
No, but what I was saying was a simple carving does not have to be a crap carving.
I'm listening. Keep going.
All I meant by that was that easy carvings don't cheapen the carving if you do them well. So, yes, there's a difference from this to this.
Yeah.
But I bet you I'd sell that first.
Right.
Before that.
Yep.
Because it's cheaper. And
yeah,
it's
maybe.
I hate to say, I'm going to say it's well done. For a square, as far as square pumpkins go, it's well done.
Yeah. No.
Due to the clean cutting, no burrs, no fuzzes, no nothing, and the paint job. The paint job is not solid. There's layers in that paint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And that's all I was trying to get across, was that a cheap carving, or not cheap carving, I just said it myself, an easy carving does not have to be a crappy carving. I said, crappy carvers make crappy carvings. Crappy painters make crappy carvings.
Right.
Because in the story that I told in the video, same thing, back to construction days. We built a house. There was a family, couldn't quite make the mortgage work somehow, and they asked if they could paint the house, and we said, sure, if it helps you, go for it. So we built the house, drywalled it, trimmed it all out, nice trim, and said, okay, there you go, folks. Your house is yours, paint her up. And we went back in there, and it looked like a dog's breakfast. I think the kids were in there with rollers. The amount of times they hit the ceiling with the rollers, and it's just a brand new house looked like crap because of a crappy paint job.
Yeah,
and that's all I meant. So a few people took it to heart, like, "Oh, I guess I'm a crappy carver then." Well, no, do better, right? That's all I'm saying is do better.
Yeah,
you don't like beginner carvings, easy carvings don't have to be crappy carvings.
Right.
That's all I meant by that.
Right.
And what do you think about that?
Well, I personally think that you are a jerk, and I know what you really meant when you made that video. You were trying to you were thinking of a few of those people who ended up commenting when you made that video, and you were thinking, I want them
to hurt.
Yes.
I want to hurt their heart.
I want to hurt their heart. And I want to get them where it hurts, Where's the tenderest spot?
That's right.
You were looking for their weak points when you made that video. No, it is funny, though, because people do, anytime that you ever get upset about anything, it's because you're identifying with something that's being said, or maybe there's enough truth in it to where it exposes you and makes you feel bad. I find for myself, at least, that in a lot of cases, if someone says something that really peeves me, it's probably because it's a spot as a part of me that I haven't really fleshed out yet, and personally, and it's a little bit true. Like there's almost too much truth to it, to where it's like, whoa, and it's something I feel like I can't change.
Yeah, that's why you're always convicted when you go to church.
And so, it's yeah, I think maybe people when they hear something, and they get a little bit upset about it, they're probably, like you said, do better. If somebody hears something that might hit home a little bit, it should just make them better. No one's coming after you personally. If you take the time to go onto a YouTube thing and comment and feel attacked about something that somebody's saying, then I could see why that might be a problem. But to that guy's point, I think maybe when you said crappier, I was surprised too, because I think what you were trying to say is not necessarily crappier, just not as, complex, and And maybe people took that. I think people took that to heart because they're there to watch your videos, and what you're doing is awesome.
Yeah, you might be right there. Like my only goal was to spur people on to try harder, clean it up.
Right.
Take a little bit more time.
Yep.
Clean her up. But no, that may be true because I do get in trouble all the time because my words aren't. I didn't grow up in. I always tease my wife about Sunshine Lollipop world. I grew up the youngest of 4 boys, and it's just we're just say it like it is.
Same. I have a similar problem with my sometimes socially. Yeah.
So I always get in trouble for being a little bit too harsh with my words, but that's boy talk.
I'm glad you brought that up, Doug, because I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, I don't care what you think, you little lollipop man. That's what I'm talking about.
It's stuff like that hurts me.
Rainbow and Sunshine World with Alec. Coddled since he was a baby. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, it's getting to that point where it's a little too close to home, and I need you to stop. No.
You should have been spanked more. So, toughen up, Buttercup. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
did you get spanked? Did your parents believe in that?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, I'm 50.
Yeah, everyone did that, right?
That's what they did. It wasn't that; it was a yardstick. But do you have in your world?
Yeah.
What's a basic carving for you? What's the most basic? See, so now I'm being vulnerable, saying I carve a square block Frankenstein, and it doesn't get any easier for that video.
Right.
But then I turn around for fun and I carve faces. So these are not.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is the simpler of the two.
Right.
Right. That's the most basic. So what's a basic thing for you to do?
I love. I don't know what it is. When I see those simple blocks, I almost got more excited about those simple blocks than the pumpkin faces that you did. But I think the pumpkin faces, and I don't even know if I agree with myself when I said that. But what I mean is, I surprised myself by how excited I was about that's what people like about your stuff, Doug, is you make stuff that, in theory, right, if it wasn't done well, like you just said, it would be lame. Like, that has the potential to be lame because it's so simple. But because you're doing it so deceivingly simple and basic a project so well, it literally evokes an emotional response. Every time I see a carving of yours, I go, "Oh, that's so cool!" Or most every carving I see of yours, I think.
But carve one yourself.
Yep.
And it's so fun.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's fun.
It's like when you learn guitar and you got, there's joy. I mean, just a couple of simple things you can do to make a chord more interesting, and then you get kind of convoluted. You start trying to learn, and then eventually you just go back to the simple stuff and you go, D. That's satisfying.
Yeah.
That's so satisfying.
Yep.
So, and then G to D is great. And that's good enough as long as you do it. And then you start realizing, wait a second, when I listen back to my recordings and I'm playing G to D, it doesn't sound as good. Maybe I should just work on going back and forth between G and D. And then when you get that right, then you realize, you know what? It's not how many chords you play. It's how well you get from smoothly and how you get from one chord to the other.
So therefore, if G and D together, then you come up with C.
Yep.
They all stack up, and then you make something, and you realize that it's all steps in the same thing.
Yeah, it's like Roger Miller, for those of you that don't know, an old country singer who wrote "King of the Road," trailers for sale or rent, and he did all these old country songs that people are familiar with. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, hidey-ho, burns your tummy don't. Anyway, these are great standards. He was a silly songwriter, and I've called you the Roger Miller of carving before, because on the surface you hear his songs, and a lot of people, maybe just your your UGG girl with her chai latte is going to hear it and go, I don't like country, but a guy who knows music listens to that and goes, how does he do that with his voice? And it's so beautiful and intricate and complex, but it's this mask of simplicity and goofiness and entertainment.
I think you just reminded me why I despise country music so much. That King of the Road song that you're singing.
Oh, such a good one.
11:45 public school, Ontario in the 70s.
Yeah.
The health hustle. We had to go to the gymnasium and do 15 minutes of exercise. There's some participation Canada thing, and everybody in public school had to exercise for 15 minutes. And it was a King of the Road, and it was a Three Dog Night. I forget. Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah.
Joy to the world.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah, joy to the world, and that. But my condolences today to you then with the passing of Loretta Lynn.
Oh, is that true?
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, wow! I didn't know.
Yes. Yep.
That's so sad. Yeah, that's really sad. Yeah. No, there's some. Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline, so many amazing country artists, female country singers that. Oh my gosh, are just. I love it. I love that genre. Also, I think it's cool they did that. 15 minutes of exercise. This is I just had this laying on the bench. I was trying to do some this is supposed to be this is just a bad idea is what it was. Just an abstract lighthouse with the rocks coming up to it. Simple.
That's fun.
I don't know what it is.
I like the idea of using the bark as its own stand for a desktop. Yeah. And I've tried a couple of things. I think I showed you one that I fished out of the garbage last week.
Yeah.
I had tried a Santa Claus or something. I forget what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that
something
one?
Like that.
I threw it in the garbage. I didn't like it, but
that made me angry. I know that.
Yeah, well. All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but simple is often very good. So
I like simple. Simple is satisfying, and I said in the video too. I said, you know what? If you never graduate beyond simple and you actually understand simple, you're good.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's good, man. So good. Yeah. Well, the more you dive into simple, the more you realize you don't know stuff that you thought you knew, and
well, that's always true. Yeah.
Right. Mail and media.
There you go.
There you go. What you been taking in? What you been listening to? What you been watching?
Oh, we're gonna go that way first, are we?
Yeah, why not?
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
Well, I was excited, and again, something I'll probably never do in my life, but my old hero in the YouTube world, Jimmy Diresta, made a giant head. A Buddha, I think it's a Buddha head with sunglasses. And it's probably, I don't know, 4.5 feet round. Monster head. So check that out. It's styrofoam, and he shows every step of the process. And it's not what you would have thought at all. And it turned out fantastic.
What's his name again? I forget his name somehow.
Jimmy Diresta.
That's right. Yep.
And if you see the thumbnail for the video, the giant head, and it's just so fun to watch how he made it, and that guy's so talented. So that's my immediate pick for the week. Check out Jimmy Diresta.
Oh wow, holy smokes! Yeah, that's cool.
But
it's a giant head.
Yeah, but it's so not the way you would have thought to make it. Well, if you had a thought on how to make it, right?
Yeah.
Not that you really had a preconceived, thought of how to make it.
Yeah. No, for me, it's been. I met a guy. My wife's childhood friend and her new husband invited us to see a Van Gogh. Those exhibit. There's like a Van Gogh exhibit where you got all the projectors everywhere in this room, and you kind of watch as these paintings unfold from different eras of the artist's life, and it's pretty cool. I'd only heard of it, and they invited us, and we sat through the whole thing, and I was just amazed at how the diversity of the art. And I was thinking, I don't know that I recognize a single one of these as Van Gogh. Like I thought that I was like, I knew Van Gogh, okay, Starry Night, I know Van Gogh. But it turns out, excuse me, I like to clear my throat into the microphone.
There you go.
It turns out that it was totally unfamiliar. And so we got up and we left the thing, and it was kind of different because there was some nudity in it. We were like, I don't remember Van Gogh doing so many nudes. And the lady said,
it was a trick. They just threw them in there to keep you awake.
Yeah. Just to keep your wife unhappy. We found out that it wasn't what we thought it was. Actually, we got there and to the exit, and I said, it's odd, I didn't recognize any of those artists. And they said, that's because that was Klimt. And I said, what's that? Klimt is the artist, the exhibit. And the lady at the door was looking at me like I was dumb. And I was like, oh. So all of my friends and I, of course, we all thought, yeah, it didn't seem like it was familiar. We went to a completely different exhibit than we thought we were going to. So here we were walking around wondering where Van Gogh was, walked into this big room, sat there for an hour and watched all these paintings flash before us in this really cool thing. And it was another artist by the name of course, Klimt, who's an Austrian painter known for his eroticism and erotic art. And so anyway, this guy, how funny circumstances tend to to make for more fun. So we ended up talking about it, and I ended up seeing him again at a wedding, and we made it a playlist together on Spotify because he was a musician, and we were just nerding out about all these bands, and neither of us knew any of the bands that we were talking about, and we just kept looking them up. I would punch them in Spotify, and I've never even heard of this. What is this? And so there's a way. He's like, you can do this thing called, I don't remember what it was, like Duel or something, or Blend, I think it's called, where you both put your profiles in there, and it'll make you guys a playlist of all of your favorite music. So anyway, we got our little blend on Spotify.
Michael and Alec blend.
Yep. And, and it's great. So that's my media. I've just been chainsaw carving and listening to this media blend. And, it's been awesome. It's good because I don't like looking up new music, but somehow when it's mixed into the music that I like, makes it more palatable.
So I'm a little torn. I'm a newbie with the Spotify, but my daughter and my wife, apparently I'm paying for some new family plan.
Uh-oh.
So they put it on my my iPad.
Oh, it comes with it. Yeah.
And long story short, I punched in something that I liked. And then when that was over, it started playing me all these other songs. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like that one. Oh, I kind of like that one.
Yep.
So Spotify knew me
within
a day of my music listening. And they were putting music in front of me that I liked. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Okay. Bands I've never heard of. Like, and it was like, I love this. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all this, would you call that AI?
Yeah.
They figure out pretty quick.
Huh.
But,
yeah, they do. I don't know what that is. Maybe they've got some little somebody. I don't know. Maybe they've got some little robots tracking us and listening to our.
Yeah.
They do.
Well,
for sure.
I'm glad that you didn't have to do a report on the Van Gogh exhibit because that would have been extra.
Can you imagine? Lots of naked people were making me think of being somewhere else with my wife. That's your thesis.
You're gonna brag all week. I'm going to a Van Gogh exhibit, and then come back and say I went to this other guy.
Yeah, it was naked people No, I didn't really like it. I mean, no, that's not true. It was pretty wicked cool how they did the show. Like, just it's totally immersive. So like the wall, the floor, the ceiling, everything's had projected on it. And so you look down at the ground, there's a crazy painting on the ground, there's music. But it was a little.
Was it
what?
dark overall?
Yeah, it was all dark. And it was cool, but it gave me it was almost too much. Maybe I've got just a touch of something that makes me not able to handle that amount of music. They're so visual, everything moving. It just felt like I was tripping out or something. Never tripped out, but it felt like that was what it would be like. So
I guarantee you, I bet you $1,000 I would have fell asleep.
Yep. Yeah.
I always do.
Oh, you hear that?
I can't
Bird just ran into my window.
I can't even seem to watch a movie lately. I always fall asleep. We went to this one time. We went to this place and we did this star observatory thing, and it was all on the ceiling, and there was all. It was out immediately. Sophie's like elbowing me, like, "Wake up!
We paid for this. We paid for this.
5 minutes. Yeah, I paid a lot of money for this. That's right." Yeah,
Doug's like, "This is great." And
Michael
so that's
Ham. Michael Ham says, "Glad you're all back for season 2 in the podcast." Blah 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 blah. Alex Forehead. Video ideas is the question. Are there any exercises you do to get the idea?
Wait. How does Alex Forehead come into that?
He goes on this. He sees our lists of ideas, and sometimes they're on your forehead, depending on how the light comes through the window and what you've written on your door.
Right. Oh, I read on the windows. Yeah. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, I said he noticed that. Yep.
But anyway,
How could you not?
Where do your idea? In fact, there's 2 like this: Michael Ham and Jacob Carr. Also, pretty much the same question. Trying to figure out what to carve next. So, where do you come up with your ideas, Alec?
Oh, they asked me that?
Oh, both of us. How do you get your juices flowing? How do you get your ideas going?
Well, you're the idea master. I want to hear from you first because I don't know how that works for you.
I'm the idea master, but I do have a lot of alone time. And the problem, the curse of YouTube, and as soon as you put out one video, it's immediate. You don't even get satisfaction from that video. It's like, what's next? What's next? And you just start churning out. And depending on the season, especially, there's a lot of there's summer themes, there's Easter themes, Christmas themes, obviously Halloween themes. And that's how I kind of go off of it. But if you start searching and getting ideas, oh, by the way, another idea place is always Goodwill places. Just the figurines and stuff. When you see something, you don't have to copy them, but the ideas of the figurines are just like, who would have thought of that? You know what I mean? Right. And then you just kind of give it a twist and make it your own. Right. And those kind of ideas. And then Pinterest. Oh my goodness. Pinterest is evil. So many good ideas on there. I know.
It's so many. It's like a hole. If you fall into it, it's hard to get out. There's so many good things.
There's so many good things. In fact, if you save them all, you won't even know what to do first.
Yep.
So that's my little spiel on ideas. But bottom line is, I'm constantly thinking about what's next. It's not like I don't sit down and say, okay, go. When I sit down, and like we talked about last week too, like if I have an idea, I'll play it out in my mind for a day or two before I even touch it. And so hopefully when I get to it, it should be less trouble than starting from zero.
Right. Oh, and Doug just died. Wow.
Unmute, mute that. Okay.
Rest in peace.
There. Okay, how about you?
Oh, man. Well, I like let me just say first, you kind of, you look to these resources, but you still end up coming up with stuff that is so interesting and original and odd and off the wall. So you have to credit yourself for. You're not. well, I just wanted to say these are his last words, and I wanted to say Doug was a very creative man, and maybe he did use Pinterest.
This is the big one.
And but he had such a creative mind, and he didn't give himself enough credit.
Okay, that's enough for you.
Yeah, but he had a really terrible personality. So
Does
that make you happier? I know you're waiting for the criticism.
So much happier.
Yep. But you know what I liked in the last video is that I carved a little bit. So I'm gonna.
No. Here, let's skip ahead. Not only do you carve, you also eat on the video. Here's the email just for you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the whole of the email. Mm-hmm. No eating while recording. How rude.
Yep.
You're rude. And there you go.
Yeah.
Gravy sends us an email with the idea YouTube video. Can a shark help with woodworking? Did you watch that video?
I did, and I liked it.
It was strange, eh?
Yeah, right. All the work they went through to do that.
So for the folks, you can Google this on the YouTube. You know, do you Google it on YouTube? You can search this on YouTube.
Yeah, well,
shark sandpaper, basically.
Right.
And basically, a sharp is abrasive skin one way, and if you dry it, it's basically sandpaper.
Right.
Fairly fine sandpaper, to be fair.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, if you get on YouTube's and you can search Google on the search bar there, it'll pull up your search engine, and you can punch it in there, snakeskin. So try that out.
Dark skin. Shark.
Sorry, snake. Schnark. Doug's understanding of the internet is you can go on YouTube and Google it. Like, to put it in perspective, Doug has had this nice laptop that we've gotten for the podcast, right? And Doug, we've had it for how long? No,
a couple of days.
Yeah, a few months, right? Since what? April or something crazy? A few months. August, and how many times have you used it to make any content, Doug? None. He hasn't used it a single.
This is not content. This is not content.
Yes, but all you have to do is click a link and open the internet link, and yes, I make the video. You have not made a single piece of content on your brand new computer because you don't want to learn a new editing software.
Yeah, but
what?
Well, here's the thing.
Oh my goodness.
It's true.
Yeah.
Last week I said my next video will be edited on this laptop. And that, folks, was 100% lie.
Yep. Yeah.
Not without trying.
Tell him.
Because I think I may have messaged you late on a Friday evening.
Oh, yeah.
Asking about the editing and that. And I had just wasted 2 hours learning or playing with the editor and then changing editors and then saying, screw it, I'm not in the mood. I can go back to Old Faithful and make that video. So,
yep. Well, don't fall into the old dog's new tricks thing. You are a new dog with new tricks. Do you remember that, Doug?
That's not encouraging. It's no, it sucks. I hate learning stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
Especially, and it's not that.
But you've got to use it. You bought a beautiful laptop.
But if you put me in a classroom and said, today we're going to learn how to use this, that's fine. But no, it's always, you need a video out in the next 24 hours. So carve it, film it, edit it, and get it on YouTube. Not the time to learn.
Right. Yeah, you almost need like a sick day to just sit down and work on it. I get that.
With dummy clips. Have a bunch of dummy clips.
Yeah.
And then just start playing with it. So that's what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So.
But anyway, thanks, Gravy, for the shark skin video there. That was interesting. Now, folks at home, if you were looking for a grit, maybe 120 grit.
Yeah.
Maybe 160. I would go to the hardware store first. I don't think you need to go shark fishing and catch a shark. And you probably don't have the time to wait. You got to flay the shark, You got to dry the skin. It's not a matter of just having the shark and rubbing it on. You got to dry
because
it
it could
out,
hurt. It could bite you, probably.
pin it like a pelt, and then you have some nice sandpaper. Just hardware store.
Yeah.
It's probably your best bet.
Yeah, that's true.
So, phone number. This is interesting. I guarantee you, this person is as old as I am, or older. We have a email via text. I don't know how this works.
Huh.
Do you know how this works?
Mm-mm.
This is from a Bell telephone number email. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did, but I don't know what that is.
Thanks for the great podcast. I have one of my first carving knives. I've developed a loose blade. This is because of the very hard basswood that I found in a Vancouver lumber store. Is there any way to tighten it, or should I not use it?
Tighten the grain?
Tighten a carving knife blade that's loose.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, you can pull it out, right? And throw some epoxy in there and stick it back in.
Yeah, if it's loose enough to pull out, I would definitely do that. Just get some 5-minute epoxy, the kind you mix up, cram her full, and stick it in until it comes out and wipe it off. Or you can always wedge it if you can't with some said glue as well. Yeah. But if it's too loose and it's a crappy handle, make a new handle.
Yeah. Carve a handle with another knife that you hopefully have. Another knife. You need a knife to fix that knife.
That's right. That's right. And one more here. Gene had some show ideas. Have guest carvers. Yes, that's a plan. Mm-hmm. Or just a carver who shows their stuff. Since we're all on a video now, that's not the worst idea. Do a carving challenge with the audience. That is interesting because we're coming from all different backgrounds. And ask a specific question to silicate male interactions. Just stuff. We do remember there. He's saying that I think that's a dig on my old people don't remember week to week if I repeat myself.
Stop. That you have a tendency to hurt people's feelings, Doug. You're very insensitive. Very, very insensitive.
I was just saying, we don't remember everything. That's what I tell my wife. She says, how come you can't remember that? I said, because you filled up my inbox a long time ago. But anyway, there you go.
Wow. Well, yeah, I can't remember anything, and I'm 28. So I think that's a bad sign for my future.
As far as the asking a question to facilitate the emails, what's your question? You have a question for the audience? What do you want to see is what we ask. This is what we're still asking. What do you want to see in the podcast that does not keep going down every week? We want to grow.
Right.
What is the ultimate podcast for you?
We might have to do the show naked.
And I understand you're only here because of me. So if that's just my channel, it's different. I'm talking Alec has to be included.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if people wrote in compliments to me, I guess. I'd like to see more of that. Please write in your compliments to me at coffeeandcarvingshow@gmail.com. If you I don't know, I mean, if you think of anything nice to say, send it my way via the podcast.
He needs it. Yeah.
I need the encouragement because I'm constantly hurt by a man who I shall not name.
Coffeeandcarvingshow@gmail.com.
Yes, check it out. And the email is open for all people. Whether you have a question or not, or, if you're a rabbit, even if you're a crazy rabbit carver, whatever you wanna put on there, put on there. Those are awesome. I like those a lot. I love those.
I need you to stop with the compliments.
You know what you could do to shut me up? Now. You know what you could do to shut me up, Doug? I have
podcast right
I have
now.
a key for you. Yes, we'll end the podcast. Just send them my way. Just send a couple of them my way. You still haven't done it.
I don't like this niceness.
You know what I mean?
It's unbecoming of you.
But you wouldn't
do it.
Alec
that I know is not like this in person.
You wouldn't send it. The Alec that I know. What is this black? What is this like? In person, I'm a real douchebag.
Yep.
Yeah, it is true. I'm a jerk. I'm very mean. So Keep me at
And
a
with
distance.
that, thanks for
Coffee and
listening,
Carving Show at gmail.com.
and we will see you for
Touch you.
episode number 47 next week. 40 for
Neither of us know.
sure. Take him.
Take them.
Take him.
You know what?
Take him.
Do it. It's good for you.
Make it so.
Don't get sick.